So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this week's Weekly Wave. Today is October 1, and so today's call is going to be going over a bit in general about what that October 1 report is going to be looking at like this year. I do know that we have not sent out communications like we have in past years. Communication about this report will still be going out later on this afternoon. But we wanted to give you guys the first glance on what's new. If you haven't reviewed the October 1 report guidance for this particular year yet. So going into this week's call, so this is going to be a lot of the same information that we've been saying for the last 3 weeks about the Wave logins. So if you all are still not able to get into the Wave, here's the process that you should follow, or your coworkers should follow if they are still having trouble as well. I'm going to start with new staff members to your district. If you have a new staff member to your district and your superintendent is giving them single sign-on access to the Wave, right now, until we have a process completely automated out without any hiccups in it, we're asking for those users to send an email to the OMES service desk. That way, somebody at OMES can make sure that everything in their account looks correct, and they can give them the information in order to get logged in through Zscaler and through Microsoft. We know this is a little bit of a hassle, and as soon as we can get a better process locked down, we will share that with you. We'll be not the first to know, but you'll be very high up on that list. If you're not a new person and you have had access to the Wave before, you've logged in before the Wave went down, or you've been logging in previous years, you've already got an account with the Wave. What you'll do here, if you have not gotten an email, we've been told by OMES that every user that has access to the Wave has been sent at least 1 or 2 emails by now with that information in order to log in. If you are still not getting that email from OMES, it's coming from a postmaster at omes.ok.gov email address. It might look a little spammy, but that email will allow you to create a password that'll get you your ok.gov email address. That ok.gov email address is what you'll use to log into the Wave, and the Wave only. You'll still log into single sign-on with your normal school email address as your username and whatever password that you've set. But when you get into the Wave, you must have that at affiliates.ok.gov email address in order to get logged in. That email address from OMES will have that information. If you are not getting that email, you can't find it, it's not in your trash, spam, or junk folders, same process that you'll follow for your new staff, you'll have to email the OMES service desk in order to get your login information. I know some school districts have been reaching out to our office, and we have been helping out OMES a bit in order to get folks logged in, but we would prefer your first contact to be the OMES help desk. When you email them, you should get an automatic email with the ticket number and basically a summation of whatever you emailed them in terms of what your issue was. So you'll have a little blurb about what your issue was, and you'll have a ticket number in that email address. It shouldn't take very long for you to get that reply back. It should take within a minute or 2 for you to get that. After you get that email, just be patient. Somebody from OMES should be reaching out to you initially within about 24 to 48 hours. If it's a little bit longer than that, you can follow up with them if you choose to through the phone, and keeping that the service desk ticket number in handy, just so you can get a follow-up on those tickets. If you are calling our office about a ticket that you've opened with OMES, do know that we are 2 separate offices, so we cannot see any of the information that you may have put into your ticket. So including that information in any voicemails or emails that you're leaving for our office would greatly help out, because we could reach out to OMES and see if we can't get a follow-up on behalf of you. But again, if you are opening up a ticket with OMES and you choose to call, you need to have that ticket number handy so you can follow up and see if somebody has taken your ticket, or whatever ticket notes that they have. If they're pending, because they need to create an account for you, they'll let you know, or if there's some hiccup, they'll let you know. OMES is continuing to follow up with users until they know that you can get logged into the Wave. So if you have a ticket open and they're asking you, are you good? Please do reply to that so they can make sure to close that ticket and they can continue to go down the line and help out all the other districts that may be having issues getting logged into the Wave. So again, just to sum it up, because I do see that there's a number of folks that joined the call since I started talking. What you'll want to do is make sure that if you're still not able to log into the Wave, you will not use your school email to get into the Wave. You'll use the @affiliates.ok.gov email address. If you do not have that, your first point of contact is going to be the OMES service desk. There is a little blurb on the Wave before you click it that'll help you direct you to some guidance that we have that includes OMES's email address. In the meantime, if one of my coworkers would please put that service desk email in the chat, you can share that with your coworkers. Reaching out to OMES is going to be your best bet in order to get logged into the Wave. Some of you have been calling our office to get those Wave logins. We may be able to help, but in a lot of cases, we do need to reach back out to OMES in order to get that ball rolling. So just for sake of not having to keep transferring you back and forth between offices, because our office, the Data and Information Systems office, and the OMES service desk are two separate divisions. OMES works for us, and we are not privy to all the information that they can see. So they do deal with all login issues. So if you did get logged into the Wave and you are locked out, you forgot your password that you created, OMES is also going to be who you need to contact in order to get that password reset. If you're looking at our guidance on how to get logged into the Wave, there are instructions on how to reset your password yourself, so you don't have to call OMES, and that might streamline the process a little bit further. I am going to suggest for all of you to take a look at your single sign-on accounts. When you're on single sign-on, on the left-hand side, there is a button that says My Account. You can double check to make sure that your school email address is still up to date. That has caused a lot of folks issues because we were sending emails to an outdated email address. So if you've changed districts recently, your school has changed email domains, whatever the situation, under My Account on single sign-on, make sure that your email address is the one you want emails to be coming to. You can change that yourself. You don't need to contact OMES. So if you guys have any questions with that, you can let us know at the end. I'm going to keep going here to talk about phone calls, voicemails, and emails. Right now, our office is experiencing an extremely high call, email, and voicemail volume. It's completely understandable with the new way to log into the Wave. But right now, we're asking, because of the amount of contacts we're getting, that you give us at least anywhere between 0 and 72 hours to get back to you. We are answering every single call, email, and voicemail that we get. So if you're repeatedly kind of emailing us, it does bog us down a little bit because we could potentially spam you back with replying about the same situation maybe 2 or 3 times. You will get a response either through phone or email. And right now we're trying to email and respond back to your voicemails in the order that we're getting them. So again, just please try not to email us multiple times about the same issue and creating new subject headers, because again, we're trying to truck through these as quickly as we can. Yesterday alone, we had about 200 phone calls, voicemails, and emails, and those are just the ones that we were able to pick up or see. So there, I know, were way more phone calls that we got that were missed and folks potentially didn't leave voicemails for. So please give us at least 24 to 72 hours to get back to you. We are kind of crowdsourcing just a little bit. You might get emails back from our state aid office as well. if you have questions regarding the FQSR report. So just know, again, we are going to get back to you guys. We understand the pressures right now. It's October 1. Typically, we're asking for you guys to get that October 1 report certified because it's feeding many other reports right now. We get it, but please just let us try and get through all of these emails, voicemails, and phone calls as quickly as we can going forward. If you are leaving voicemails and you do choose to email later, please include that in your email so we can go back and find your voicemail if we happen to see your email first and you had a voicemail later, depending on how you're choosing to reach back out to us. Just let us know. But right now, if you could choose to pick one, if you're choosing to call, email, or leave a voicemail, just pick one and we will get back to you as soon as we can. If you're leaving a voicemail, leaving your name and district is greatly appreciated, as well as potentially your email. If we are responding to voicemails off business hours, we can still get back to you through that, and we won't need to leave you a voicemail. So anything that you can do to help us help you, we will do that going forward. So let's talk about reports.
Let me jump in there real quick.
Okay.
October 1st, yes, yes, I understand it's today. It'll be open for a while, so be patient. If you have a question that you can't figure out or you need our help with, just be patient with us. But we are not closing the October 1st today. It does not have to be certified before you go home tonight. So we have some time. We even have an extended time if we need it. So just be aware of that. And that's going to be the same thing for FQSR. That's going to be I've already had conversations with SPED about their child count. That child count report, I built it. It will, as long as you get it fixed over the next couple of days, that report will be fixable, will be pullable for October 1. So I know how it works. I have had conversations with SPED. They are going to have to allow for some grace period for yes, they try to be strict because they understand, but they do understand that the struggles we're going through and the data we've gotten. So yes, they plan on pulling their data today, but if there's things that need to get fixed and changed, they allow for a review window. They allow for a window to submit data that was incorrect on the day of. So everybody here that works with data they really want the most accurate data possible. Okay, so that's what we're shooting for. I mean, so just take a breath, and we will get there together. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's great. I appreciate that. Speaking of that, we are starting to utilize the wave notes the wave notes on the wave homepage a little bit more than we have in past years. So if we are seeing a widespread issue either with your district or just statewide, we are updating those notes. So if it's a statewide issue and you're on the wave right now, those notes will show up on the left-hand side of the screen. If you have a specific district issue, those notes are going to appear on the right-hand side of the screen. We'll keep an eye on those specific district and state notes, and we'll get them updated as soon as we can. Those notes were last updated last night, so they are pretty up to date. There have been some changes this morning, so we'll need to review those before we can make some updates. So if you are still seeing some issues related to the notes that are on the wave homepage right now, just know that they will be corrected before the end of the day today. The district notes, we'll be going through those later on today, and we'll be making updates. And if necessary, if we haven't already spoken to you today about what the status is of your district sending data, then we will let you know there, either there or through that wave note. All right, so let's talk about reports. So for some of you, I've said this earlier and in past weeks, the FQSR is open. There is guidance, really good guidance, available on documents and guides. It's also on every single tab of the FQSR report. So if you have questions about find missing students, there is a text document that you can print out or a YouTube video that you can listen to and watch available there as well. So please share that with your new staff if they are being tasked with reviewing the FQSR. That report is not due this month. It's due November. It's due at the end of November. So you do have a lot more time to get that completed. And if you do have questions for now, again, if one of my coworkers would please put this email address for us in the chat. For now, if you would CC both our office, if you're reaching out to us directly, and the state aid office, one of the two will reach back out to you. All right, so on to the October 1 report. As Eric has said and has kind of mentioned in the chat, this report is open now and is tentatively due on October 31st. It'll be open until October 31st. So right now the certification window has opened, meaning that your principals can start confirming the data and your superintendents can start certifying. As of today, there is still no extension with the accreditation report, so that is still expected to be due on October 15th. This report, for those of you who are brand new to doing this, collects all student level demographic information for students who are enrolled on or before. We'll need to update that verbiage before we upload this document to our website. But any student who is enrolled on or before October 31st will show up. Not October 31st, October 1st. Any student who is enrolled on October 1st will show up on this October 1 report. We use this for various different things for state and federal reporting. Our public enrollment counts are based off of this October 1 count. So it's pretty important for you guys to focus on a few different things that I'll go through here in just a minute. So how do you access this report? For those of you who don't know, haven't been on a single sign-on, if you're starting from scratch, you can start off by going to the SDE website and clicking on under the Spotlight tab, single sign-on. And then from there, once you're into single sign-on, click on the WAVES portal. This is where you'll be using that @affiliates.ok.gov email address that you should have gotten either from an email address from OMES or from OMES directly. So once you get logged in through Zscaler and Microsoft, and you're into that WAVE itself, you'll click on the reporting tab. There's a drop down that'll pop up, and you'll click on state reporting certification. From there, you'll see the list of reports that are open. And the one you want to click on is the October 1 Consolidated Report. From here, there are a few things that you'll want to keep an eye out on, and that is the report status, your district status, when the report opens, and when it is due. This due date does not indicate that the report is actually closed. That due date will always show the original due date that the state was expecting to see. So if we were to extend the report, you'd still see that the due date is, say, October 31st, but you'll see next to the open, there will be an asterisk, and open will be bolded, letting you know that this report was expected to either close and it is past its due date. Without going into too much detail about what these report statuses, the report status and what the district status is, I would send you over to our report guidance. Right now, for the report status and the district status, The report status is based off of whether or not the report has actually closed or not. The district status is doing exactly what it says. If you've got multiple sites that are confirmed, or if you've got multiple sites that are confirmed and you've got one site that is in progress, you will see for your district status that it would say in progress. The district status will show the highest certification level for your entire district. So if you've got some extras in there, it'll always show the lowest. So again, if you've got some sites that are confirmed and some sites that are in progress, your district status will say in progress. It's not until all the sites in your district are confirmed that you'll see that district status update to confirmed. All right, so just like the FQSR, we've got guidance available in 2 different places, either on the SDE website under resources, student information, and then documents and guides. When you get to that, this is where you'll see the report specific guidance. And so the FQSR guidance, webpage and videos are here, as well as the October 1 Consolidated Reports guidance. You can see that it was last updated on September 20th, and Morningstar put a link to that in the chat. So thank you for that. Or if you don't want to go to the SDE website, you can go on to the WAVE itself. Under the report's general instructions, there is the link to that guidance. And then a little blurb that's a reminder that the October 1 report is not expected to be confirmed or certified before October 1. We are keeping an eye on that, so we will be reaching out to any sites that have confirmed this report before October 1. We're not expecting for that to happen. Students could have enrolled between September 30th and this morning. So we want to make sure that every student who was enrolled on October 1 is counted on October 1. So this portion will not pertain to a lot of you, but I wanted to make sure that our data folks knew that this was something that was new. So we have added a new certification layer. It's an additional ownership check. So whenever a superintendent goes in to certify the October 1 report, if there is a student who has been claimed at another district and that district has certified their October 1, this pop-up will show up. It'll show every student who's already been claimed on another district's October 1 report. This will this will bar your superintendent from being able to certify the October 1 report. So just like the ownership wizard itself, the district superintendent is going to need to reach out to that other district that has that student claimed on the October 1 report. The reason why we added this certification layer is because our ownership wizard does not always catch these types of situations. So what I mean by that is, say on October 30th, you had a ownership conflict with the student. You got that fixed on October 1, and the other district was able to get their October 1 report certified. For whatever reason, if that district has a enrollment overlap with that same student again, say they updated the enrollment and now there is a conflict, I'm so sorry. There's a conflict that doesn't necessarily pop up on our ownership wizard. It'll show up here. So if you've got a ownership conflict claim or cleared out and another district has already claimed that they have that student enrolled in their district, but they are actually in your district and there's no ownership wizard that you can see anymore, this will pick up on that particular situation. So if you do not have a ownership conflict that's specific with the October 1 report, you'll see the message on the left-hand side. And if you do not have a ownership conflict specific to this report on the right-hand side, you'll see this is here as well. This is something that our office is also monitoring as well. So between our office and the RAOs, we will try and help you out to get these situations cleared out. But just so that you also know that there are additional issues that would bar you from being able to certify this report, we wanted to let you all know as well. Mainly because we will have to make adjustments to this October 1 report because we cannot have any sort of overlap. Rather than just doing this and then keeping a district potentially out of the dark that there are issues, we wanted to make sure that on the front end, they know as well. So, you know, this is a little bit of a change. This is a little strange for really everyone, but we're going to pilot this out and see how it works, and any improvements that we can make throughout the, you know, for future years, we will continue to do that and make this system a lot more smooth for you guys. We're trying to automate a lot of the things that you have in the past have had to email us about, and we had to manually, you know, correct. So hopefully in the end, once we get all the kinks worked out of this, this will hopefully greatly improve the amount of time we spend cleaning up the October 1 report after the certification window has closed. So again, if you don't have any issues, you'll see the left-hand side of the screen. If you do, or if you don't, you'll see the left. If you do, sorry, if you do see issues, you'll see the left-hand side of the screen. And if you do not, you'll see the right-hand side. So for not just the October 1 report, but just in general, you'll want to make sure that you do not have any ownership or STN conflicts with your students that are still actively enrolled. Now, we want to make sure that every student who's in the STN wizard is cleared out. So if you have students that were no-show students and, you know, they don't necessarily need an STN assigned at your specific district, you can reach out to our office and we will get those manually cleared out for you. Same thing with ownership conflicts. If you have conflicts with yourself, I mean your site, the same site or district, you can reach out to us in those situations as well. What's happening there is, for some reason, we're getting brand new enrollment records. Either there's some sort of change on the district level, and so that's when it's sent over to the WAVE, a new record is created rather than being changed or deleted. And so those are where you're seeing ownership conflicts with yourself. If you're noticing that you've already fixed an ownership conflict and you're not seeing any sort of movement on those conflicts clearing out, and this could be with your district or with another district who's telling you that they've already made those changes, reach out to us, you reach out to your RAO. Usually reaching out to your RAO will help move along situations that we cannot necessarily address. And what I mean by that is if another school district is still actively sending that enrollment, we do not have too much control over that situation. So that's where including your RAO would be very helpful because they can go and specifically reach out to that district and see for themselves, is that student actively being instructed by the other district? Again, if you have conflicts and it's with your district and you're not seeing them specifically clear up, please reach out to us so we can double check the status of your student information system sending enrollment records to the WAVE. Just a second. Okay, we've been seeing an unusual amount of districts having issues or hiccups really in their student information system responding to requests for enrollment data. So we've been trying to reach out to you guys as proactively as we can as we see those situations, but we are 4 people and we have 544 districts to kind of oversee, so we might miss something. So if you, again, are clearing out errors, clearing out ownership conflicts, and you're not seeing that number budge on the WAVE, reach out to us and let us know. We will look and see if your student information system is not responding to requests that we send out on a daily basis. We do have a request schedule that is also posted under documents and guides. It's in plain English without all of the talk about what is an object and et cetera, et cetera. So you can take a look at that as well to see when the state requests for specific data. Not every student information system is set up to send every add, change, and delete as it occurs in the student information system. So for any of you that are in that situation, you are reliant on our request schedule, and we do not request for every single piece of data that we are requiring your student information system to send on a daily basis. So moving forward, double check your find missing students. If there are issues, those will be highlighted in yellow. If there's an issue with a specific data validation wizard, you can click it. That has issues button, and it'll bring up that specific student's issue. Just know that because there's a timing discrepancy, not really a discrepancy, between the data validation wizard and the wave, you may see some students in Find Missing Students with a data validation wizard issue, district ownership issue, or STN wizard issue. But when you go and click on it, there's nothing there for you to see. That's because the ownership and the data validation wizard and STN wizard for that all update throughout the day, but the October 1 report does not. So you may see some timing issues between some of the students that are in Find Missing Students and some of the students that were in one of the three validation wizards. So there are some exclusions that are perfectly fine. One example would be, those 3-year-olds, pre-K students who are awaiting eligibility determination. And so they have a PK3 basis of admission. We're expecting to see those types of students in Find Missing Students. Again, our guidance for this report has the complete list of all common issues and how to fix them on in our guidance, again, under common October 1 report issues. So you just look at that. It's got every column there and a blurb or a sentence about what is commonly the cause of why you're seeing a student in Find Missing Students with whatever error that they have. All right, we're almost done here. So there are a number of reports that we have under reporting tools. There are 11 of them. You can quickly look at your enrollment by grade level, how many bilingual students you have this year between last year, and there are a bunch of different reports that you can look at as well under reporting tools. So I would definitely recommend just for you bigger districts to take a look at those reports. It'll help you to make sure all the data that is being sent to the wave is correct and what you're expecting them to be. So just some other reminders that we and our accountability office is asking for you all to review. They're also doing some of these checks as well. So one way or another, we'll get it correct. So you'll make sure that your demographic information for your students are correct. And you want to take special care to make sure that your EL students are also being properly coded. If you've got recently arrived students, there are 3 entry type codes that you can choose from that you can enroll your student in. Each entry type code has a different situation. So depending on what that student's situation is, you'll use one of the 3. And if you have a student that exited the EL program for this particular school year 2021, they should not appear or be coded as a first-year proficient student until the next school year. Again, all of this information is in our guidance, so don't try and fret and write this down if you are. This is going to be one of the last reminders for the report. This report is being used to populate the gifted and talented report. So that student count in that report is coming off of the October 1 report directly. So you will not see any students showing in the gifted and talented report until you have the October 1 report confirmed. And last but not least, REOs will be coming out either specifically to your district or through virtual calls to review your bilingual counts for their annual audits, something they do every single year. So you'll want to make sure to take a look at those home language surveys for any of your new students. But if you do have specific questions for that, our office does not handle EL specific questions, we would forward you either to our EL office or to federal programs, and their number is on the screen. So once you're done reviewing all the information on the report, your principal can go ahead and press the confirm button. If changes need to be made, superintendent can release. This refresh button, I could talk for much longer about what that is. So again, I would specifically point you guys to our written guidance about how that refresh button works. And if you have questions for that, with that, you can reach out to us and we'll try and help you out. It's pretty detailed. You can refresh the October 1 report every 2 hours, as long as we do have updated data from your student information system. So again, there's districts that have a student information system that can send adds, changes, and deletes 24/7. You're in luck. You can refresh that. But if you are a district that only sends us updates once a day, in response to requests for data, then you may not be able to refresh this as frequently as you may like to. So again, once all of the sites are in the confirmed status, again, we'll have to change that verbiage on this slide before we post it. But once all of these sites are confirmed, the report can be certified by your superintendent. And your district status will then show up as certified and you are good to go. So again, this is just a repeat of what I've already spoken about earlier. So with that, I'm going to turn my attention back to the chat here and see if there are any questions related to what I was talking about that haven't already been answered. And then I'll end the recording. So there was a specific first year superintendent meeting that happened last week, 2 weeks ago, alerting all the new superintendents to this. When we send out our guidance about this report specifically later on this afternoon, we will make a point to talk about that new layer that the superintendents will see. Really, again, this is really just a layer for the superintendents. I know data folks are going to be involved because some of you may be the district contact in some of those situations. So again, we'll help you out as much as we can. This is just a first round of trying to help everyone out on making sure that students are counted once and that we're not double dipping, having students potentially claimed in 2 different districts upon certification. We do get this cleaned up at some point, but we're trying to make the submission a little bit quicker. So with that, I'll go ahead and stop the recording here and